Desmond here from Performance Destination. If you're looking to have your car tuned, whether it's on the dyno or remote, reach out to us and see what we can do for you. We meet the needs on all computer systems.
How you doing? It's Desmond back again. We have another special little setup here. Fully built FP0 Evo8. We are going to set this one up again. It's going to be dual fuel. So we're doing 93 and E85. I'm going to fire it up. We're going to see where we stand as is without any adjustments. And then we're going to start working the tune little by little, and we're going to start seeing where we pick up and how we can make this thing better for both fuels. I think the goal, he just told me, he wants to crack over 700 on it. Not a problem, as long as everything works how it needs to in the realm. But it shouldn't be a problem at all. But let's make sure this thing drives good and feels good, starts up good, idles good, and everything. Okay, we're gonna fire it up. This is as is without me even touching the map or anything like that. It's a little lean. And it idles very high. So let's fix all this stuff here. Let's begin. All right, we got the map already remade for this car. I'm going to flash it. Turn this off. All right, I'm going to flash it, put it on there, and get that set up. And then we're gonna test the car out again and see what it do. Let it come up on idle. All right, let everything start leveling out. And now it's looking good. Looking a lot better now. Now normal. Car just needed some love. Now we can load it on the dyno. Alright, so what we're gonna do, how I operate on two fuels. Your pump gas, I'm gonna tune that one on gate pressure.
That's it.
I'm not turning it up.
Yep.
I'm not, whatever it does on gate. Like if your car makes 20 pounds, that's where it's gonna make. I'm gonna clean it up where it runs good.
Yeah.
And solid all the way straight through, but whatever it does on gate. And 20, 22, 23, whatever PSI the gate pressure is, that's what I'm gonna run on pump gas.
Yep.
Then when we go on E85, then I'll try to reach for where you want to be, which is what, 700?
Yeah.
I'll try to reach for that. Your combination seems like it should do it. You have S3 cams, the turbo's there. The only thing I would just affect is just make sure the car holds good boost pressure, don't fall off. That's the only thing that would decide what goes on today. But overall, it's gate on pump, and then on E, turn it up and start getting spicy with that. But that's just so you know. But if you'll have drivability, On both fuels.
Yeah.
Both
that's
fuels
what I'm
is gonna have
looking for.
variability.
Yeah, I want to be in a situation like I was today, where I was kind of nervous to run around the grid. Like,
Yeah.
driving the grid.
Yeah. So we'll make sure I iron out both. Once it looks good, then I call 93 done, and we drain it out, fully drain it out, and we'll put the E in, swap the map, blend it through, and we'll start working on the E stuff, and then I'll pull the plugs. As soon as I have a nice clean gate pressure on E, then I would swap the plugs over, and then finish the rest of the tune on that. So by the time I finish the full tune, then I can pull the plugs and I can see the quality of it and whatnot. I want to at least iron everything out on the old plugs before I swap into new plugs.
That makes sense to me.
And then we'll test drive it and hopefully.
Still hot now. I guess I'm getting close enough where I get the top load out, then I start working that bottom.
So we're gonna swap out the springs. This right here is not making enough gate pressure. I think I saw like 15 or so pounds of boost on that. So gates off, external. But the car looks good so far. It needs a little bit more bottom end, just a little more torque, a little harder hit, but it looks good. It wasn't a full run. Just wanted to make sure the AFRs, everything's trailing nicely. The car, like I said, the car's down on gate pressure. 15 PSI is not enough for the gate, because when we go to E85, we're gonna try to be in like in the upper 30s. So we need to make sure our base is strong before we actually jam on it even more. Old start. Looks good. So we put something going on with this gate. Before we was only at 14, 15, or 16-ish pounds of boost. We put only one extra little spring in there, and now it's trying to cook up to like 30 pounds on gate pressure. I haven't even turned the boost up or nothing like that yet. So, and it's still pump gas. This is way too much. I'm going to play around with the tune a little bit so I can kill the power and blend all of this down a lot. And because I don't want to make this kind of power on pump gas, but I still want strong gate pressure for E85. But we'll see what it's going to be looking like, because that's really, really strong gate pressure right now. But his pump gas's commuting map is not for like out here racing. Just it's like a backup map for fuel driving. But we're going to turn the power down on the pump and pull some power out of that, some horsepower and some torque out of that. And let's see. So I'm slowing it down best I can. It's turning down a good bit, starting to slow it down. Power band's starting to like get a little bit more lazier. I'm gonna make it a lot more lazier in this next pull. And I think we should be good on pump gas with that. You know, I don't want it to make too much, but I just wanted to bring the torque down some and the horsepower down some, and kind of just go from there for just pump gas stuff. And then we'll kind of work it up on E85. But so far so good. It looks healthy. Keep working at it. Kind of go from there. I think we're done with it. I'm gonna call this done, and after that pull we did, it was no knock across the boards. Right there towards the red line, it tried to go a little rich, but I already cleaned that up. But everything was clean across the boards. Very healthy, very nice. Like. Oh my goodness. 1 horsepower off. You saw it?
Yeah, I see that shit.
1 horsepower off, man. Come on. I just wanted it so I don't have to make no more pulls. But it don't settle right when it's $6.99.
What can we do about it?
We're gonna rev it out.
That's what's up.
We're gonna rev it out. But I definitely think I think we're starting to show signs of that. I don't recommend that fuel pressure regulator. Everybody who knows me, they know I don't recommend mini size regulators. Every time I mention it on every video I have on my channel, never recommend mini size regulators. When you start creeping up the power territory where you're at, you're gonna start seeing signs of why those are not the ones to run. So like on this car, making this kind of power, I would probably go with the what's it called? A Weldon.
Okay, yeah.
A Weldon regulator on that. Even when I at idle for the first time, if I whack the throttle for the first time, I'll see the fuel pressure drop a little bit. For a little bit, it'll go from like 40 to 35, and then I'll let off, and I'll do it again, and it doesn't drop, and it'll let me rev free. Every single time I fire it up for the first time, and I try to rev it, it'll go, and after that, I let off, do it again, free. Everything after that, free, every single time. I don't know what it is, but like I see the fuel pressure just kind of like hit a little bit low, but we'll see. You know, I think that's good power. It's the power band is looking crazy. I'm telling you right now, if you only saw how much you said you made? 5 what?
It was like 580 something.
580.
I think you're on a Mustang dyno though.
580, bro. And this thing is making that in almost torque.
Yeah.
Where we at? 564. Yeah. Don't get me wrong. Typically on FP0s, I'll probably make like 600 for pounds, but I personally feel like, you know, you may have something funny, wonky going on with your wastegate, but it's running good. I'm gonna let it cool off, and then we're going to push it again. I saw I needed to throw some more fuel up top, so I kind of let out. I wasn't a full run. So if I did a full run, it would have went into the 7s. On this next one, if the fuel looks good, I'll try to hit limiter. Yeah. So, but I just kind of keep creeping up until it looks good, and then we go from there. If it was me to make even more power for the 700, like in between the torque, everything, I would have kept stock intake manifold. Yeah. You would have probably made more torque, and you probably would have already made 700. Yeah. With that, it has a lot more velocity down low, more momentum. Yeah. So it helps that turbo light up faster, helps the power band climb faster versus a bigger plenum. You know, FP0 is somewhat a decent sized turbo, but it's not a big frame, big turbo. Yeah. So a smaller intake manifold you stay with the bigger throttle body, it would have spooled faster, and you probably would have got into torque a lot sooner and horsepower a lot sooner, and it would have stood up a lot sooner, and it would probably made the same power, but it would have probably made more down low and mid range. Yeah. So that's my opinion on that. Probably what I'm gonna do on what I'm gonna run on my race car, on my street car. I have a stock intake manifold, so I'm gonna run that and test it, and then I'm gonna port it, then I'm gonna test it, and I'm gonna do back-to-back dyno comparisons. But for the most part, I'm probably gonna run that and try to make that, because it's gonna light that turbo up a lot faster than a big plenum. Yeah. Boost for boost, it's gonna light it up a lot faster. Oh, there you have it. 715, 570 foot-pounds of torque. When I that last pull, I let off because I saw the smoke, but I'm not gonna make another run because it would just happen again. You got lucky, because sometimes oil is flammable, and oil can catch on fire, and you could burn your car down if oil hits your manifold and it ignites. The whole thing could burn down. So I'm not gonna make another run. But it was good. It was clean. Car started picking up right in that range there. It was almost following the blue trace, the run before, but then it starts picking up. And I know if I revved it out higher, it would have started picking up a lot more towards redline, and it would have been close. You know, because I didn't rev it too high. You know, the other ones I started revving, mid sevens and whatnot, but I wanted to see what this was gonna do at redline, going all the way straight through. But the catch can kind of prevented that. So dipstick blew up. That's why y'all want to get a catch can set up, because your car, this thing will build a lot of crankcase pressure, and if it doesn't get ventilated, it just keeps building and building and building and building and building. It has the Iridium ones, but I don't recommend Iridium catch cans. This doesn't properly ventilate crankcase pressure, and also the sizing. You also never want to use factory PVC fitting sizing for any catch can. But when I let out that pull, I saw a little smoke on the manifold, and engine still sounded good and it was running, and AFRs are still clean. But I come around and I see that blow off. So car's been running good. I think we're gonna call it done. I don't want to make another pass and then that dipstick blow off again and actually cause some problem. Like I said, oil can ignite, and I don't want to run into those kind of problems here at my shop. Car runs healthy. Car's healthy. Car runs good. Feels solid. I'm gonna just double check the drivability on the E85 map, and then we're gonna pull the plugs, see what the plugs look like, make sure it has a good burn, make sure it's doing what it's supposed to be doing. Everything looks healthy in the file, the log, no knock, AFR is nice. He's starting to, I see a little bit of hints of fuel demand needs to be looked at. I can see it move a few decimals on the fuel delivery for the fuel pressure. So I told them you need to upgrade from that mini fuel lab regulator. Those little mini things are not what you need to run at this power level of a car like this. You want to get a full size regulator, and then he's also on a double pumper, but I think they're 2 smaller pumps, so it's starting to show signs of some things need to get upgraded and looked at. So I definitely would say the regulator for sure. I know that would starve it, and that will cause an issue as well. But 100%, you know, fuel demand is everything. You want to make sure your fuel setup is correct for the power level you're chasing after, and you want to make sure everything is using the right quality parts and not just throwing things on for cosmetics and looks. So let's double check the drivability, and let's get all the little kinks and bugs ironed out on this. The E85 portion of the map, and it's looking pretty decent. Looks good. Even the fuel trims look good, you know. I tune a car not only by the AFR reading, but I also go by the fuel trims. That will also tell me where we at. Even though the AFR may read a certain number, you know, wherever it's at, that's 50-50 of what I go by. I go by the AFR reading, and then I also, on the stock ECU stuff, I also have to go by the fuel trims. The fuel trims is going to tell me where I stand with my tuner, my map, to make sure I'm within spec of where I need to be.
The car did good overall. There's not much I would say for you to swap out and change. The only thing I could say is the fuel stuff. Because your fuel system is more like, I feel like more lower horsepower, you know. So like your regulator, I've already mentioned that you need to get a full size regulator. The minis don't keep up with that much flow. Those regulators, the mini ones, they come with a certain spring inside of it. So that spring pressure is only so much. A full-size ones come with a bigger spring, a taller spring, and that spring pressure is so much. It's like how you have like the wastegate springs. You know how they have different springs? It's going to create different fuel pressure. Mini ones would never outflow a full size. And by the time you get to this, even at 715, that's basically a full system for an 800 horsepower car. You know, so you want to upgrade that. You don't want to be banging gears and your AFR starts running away, or you'll go out and one day it's hot, that's whatever, and then one day it gets cold and the car makes more boost. That was making more jam, spooling faster, and if it makes more power, and if you're really riding the line and the limitations of your fuel system, then it's gonna run away. It's gonna run away again. So you hit it with the AFR to stay flat where it needs to be at, and then let off. But that's good. You know, the pump gas is good. I took all the power out of the torque, kind of. And whatnot. It probably would make more on pump gas, to be honest with you, if I just rev it out higher. But I don't want to make more. You know, I just wanted to make sure it's clean all the way straight through. Yeah. But like that's more for your commuting, day to day, not day to day, but like if something happens and you don't have no E85, you're not stuck. You can swap it over, and you can drive it smooth, like regardless, not worry about nothing. And then your E85 is gonna be like, you know, it's gonna be your neck breaker. So like this thing is gonna make power. It spools very, very nice. It comes on very, very good. Like I said, this car, to be honest with you, at 715, it probably would have been more, because it was still climbing. And when I saw the oil gun on the manifold, I let off. So like if you had a better fuel system, maintaining the same boost trace I have it set, maintaining the same AFR, and if I went to redline, say if I went to 8,000, this probably would have been mid 700s already. That's probably, I think this would have been like 730, 735, 740. So it would have been there, and you would have, and at that horsepower, you would have, you know, it kind of really plateaued on torque. So I don't think it was going to make any more torque. Yeah. It already came up and then it started plateauing. So it's not going to plateau and then curve again. Yeah. So I think you would have been right in that ballpark for torque wise, but it still has more in it. You just have to have the right components of it. Now, the catch can also will help the engine breathe better. You know, that will help the engine perform and breathe better. And you who knows, sometimes you might see a little more power from that as well. But you need to make sure this engine breathes better, because that dipstick keep blowing up. It's not going to be good. So you don't want it to be one day you check and all this oil into your car because the dipstick keep blowing up. So you have to get a catch can that ventilates. Because right now you only have one line actually really ventilating it. That line, I know it's into the manifold and whatnot, and it does help. But as you can see, it don't help enough because the catch can dipstick still blew up. So you have to get that so you can ventilate that. So the engine breathes better, fuel system, so the engine you're feeding the engine properly all the way straight through. So like those are the only things I can really say, you know, for this. You can go with the 2 upgraded fuel pumps. It will also help it. You know, I don't know where your borderline is on your car. So who knows? It could be, I could be maxing out that regulator, or I could be maxing out that fuel pump. You know, I don't know. You know, it could be either one of those. I don't know which one it is. The easiest thing would be is to swap out the regulator and then seeing what it does. If you swap out the fuel pump, it's gonna throw the whole tune left. The whole tune's gonna go left. But if you put the swap on the regulator and set it somewhat ballpark to where it's at, I think the base right now is at 42. It may run a little bit more richer. You got to kind of readjust it, but it ain't gonna be like if you swap out two brand new bigger fuel pumps where everything's gonna get thrown off. Cold start, cranking, everything's gonna get thrown off. So, but I definitely recommend you do that regulator and that catch can like immediately. Besides that, it's solid. The power band curves super nice. Like this, just how it comes on, how it sounds, it's super spicy. You know, it's gonna feel really good. It's gonna run really good. Like I said, and that torque, flatlining like that, you're gonna feel that too. You know, my main focus is always, I don't really care what the graph looks, what the numbers look like. My main focus is what the graph looks like. Making sure my curve is good, my AFRs is good. I'm gonna pull my spark plug and make sure my spark plug is good. I check the logs, make sure there's no knock, make sure the coolant pressure is, the coolant temperature is good. That would tell me, you know, making sure the head staying planted and where it needs to based on the temperature. I do feel like this car does have a little bit of a temperature creep. Even before I started jamming on it on the pump gas, like when I just started rolling cruising, I saw it get to like 199. So this now, I saw it get to like 203. I turned the AC on to kick that fan on, the temperature immediately dropped. It started dropping fast. And I tried bleeding it best I can, but it started dropping really, really fast. You know, who knows? You may have a sticky thermostat. Yeah. You know, you might have that.
Yeah,
I don't
that's
know.
probably like one of the only things I had to replace since.
Yeah. I'd probably put a new thermostat in there, because if it is sticky, then, you know, we don't want to start problems car. Because no matter how good your tune is, if the car runs too hot, everything's going to fuck. You know, watch that. So, but overall, I'm happy with it today. I'm gonna unload it, and then we'll go on the street, see what it feels like, test it out, make sure drivability is there, make sure power feels good, make sure, you know, it feels as good as what it sounds and what it's doing right now in the dyno. So, yeah.
So I better not get on it hard right now until after I fix that.
You can, but just be mindful.
Yeah.
You know, just be mindful.
Because I hate to be on the highway, get on it, and that fucking dipstick shoot out on me.
Yeah, just be mindful.
All right, these are the plugs that came out of his car originally. It's very white. It probably was a little too lean. And this one, I don't know what's going on in this cylinder. It's probably getting too much fuel and whatnot. It doesn't look proper. It doesn't look proper at all. And then, just now, properly tuned. That's how it's supposed to look. So as you can tell, the lean one protrudes out. That's a hotter plug. You know, I don't run hot plugs on cars this setup of this much power range. I always run a plug that protrudes. That's more. It's a colder plug, but it's, you know, you can tell by the center it's more sunk in. First, the center is more protrude on this, because the outer rim. Let me get a better video on this. The outer rim for this is more sunk in. So it's more sunk in. So like the outside of it is actually being protected by the outside of it. So all the heat is not hitting the center of the plug. So it's being more protected. So it's colder because, you know, this protects the center. So whenever you get a plug like this, however I can get it to stand up. When you get a plug like this, where the center is protrude, all the heat is gonna hit it head on. And it start cooking this up and make this hot. Makes it hot. This is a hotter plug. This is a colder plug. The center is more stepped in. This center is more protruded out. Hot plug, cold plug.
That was different.
Yeah. Told you.
Yeah.
It's not gonna be the same. Oh shit. Oh, bro. Bro, you shifted so lazy, and then like
make sure I get in gear.
and then I felt it come back on, and it just pulled me. It's crazy. Take it out of gear, bro. That shit is crazy.
Yeah, damn.
What I feel like, bro?
Yo, that was crazy. That shit was crazy. It's just steady pulling. That shit was crazy.
Bro, turn right here. Let me get out of this car, yo. Oh man, that's wicked. All right, brother. So we just finished that session. Overall, how's your experience? We did both pump gas and E85. Tell me how everything went today.
Man, it went as smooth as I thought it was gonna go. You know, after going through a full build of a car like this, you know, you came in, knocked it out the park, though, man.
Yeah. So, how did the car feel just now when we went for a test drive, bro? How did it pull?
Man, it's hard to put it in words, man. It's like being on a spaceship. So, yeah, different animal right now.
Yeah. That probably feel like the fastest car you ever owned.
Yeah, definitely. And I haven't even revved it all the way out yet. So,
yeah,
shit.
You sure didn't. We revved it short, and we didn't really get to bang the gears like that. So, overall, you happy with it?
Yeah, I'm definitely happy with it.
All right, man. Appreciate you, bro.
It, man.
All right, that car made some good jam today, bro. You're loving it. Welcome back to the channel. This is Desmond Pierre here at Performance Destination. Got a new customer came in today. The car ran phenomenal. This car ran so hard. This car hit so good. Both fuels, pump gas and E85, got them done on both fuels successfully. Healthy, strong. It was just one of those sessions where I had to figure out ways of how to turn it down on the pump gas part, at least. Pump gas, we made 559 horsepower, basically 560, and 457 foot-pound of torque. Earlier runs, it was trying to make more, and it was jamming up, but I had to pull a lot of power out of it. I had to pull a lot of boost out of it, pull a lot of timing out of it. I had to make this thing so soft just for the pump gas, so it doesn't make too much. And it still try to make a lot of power. The torque I'm happy with. I could have brought the horsepower down a little bit more, I feel like, probably at the 500 range, but I couldn't do nothing else because I pulled as much power as I could pull out of it for what the stock computer would allow me to. But on E85, turn it all the way up and let it eat. His goal was 500. The previous run before this one was 699, and I didn't want to stop at that, so I felt like I was right there at it. So I wanted, sometimes these customers or yourself, you may see that number and it's so close to your goal, even if it's 1 horsepower off, they still want to see that 700 on the screen. So like, you know, people spend a lot of money to put these cars together. They have certain goals, whether it's quarter mile, whether it's horsepower, whether it's a boost number, whatever it is, whatever is going to make them sleep better at night and they feel a little bit more satisfied. All I did was kind of like just put a little more fueling up top, and I kind of just let the turbo spool a little bit stronger down low for the ramping, and revved it out further out somewhat, and it made the number. Now this car would make more power, but I let off because the dipstick popped up. These cars, whenever you bring these cars in, you have to have a proper catch can setup. You need to extract and get rid of this crankcase pressure that's building up in the valve cover, in the motor. If not, it's gonna blow the dipstick up, and that's what it did. It blew the dipstick up. A little bit of that oil splashed on the exhaust manifold, and I saw a little bit of smoke from that. Throttle was, the air fars are good, cooling temperature was good. I walked on the throttle was good, but I saw a little bit of smoke from that, and I let off, and I let off early. The rev line on this is roughly around 8,000, 8,200. So this was me letting off at 715, and I let off right around like 7,000 RPMs. So like if I rev this out all the way out, it would have made more power. It was still climbing and it wasn't falling off yet. So roughly, it probably would have been about 830, 730, 740 horsepower. But I want to play it safe. I don't want to have it where the oil gets on the manifold, the oil ignites, because oil can ignite, and that could be bad. Just to make a number, to force it, and something happens where the dipstick blows out, or oil gets on the tires and it does something weird and on the dyno. We want to be safe. We want to make power safely, but we also want to make a safe environment for the customer's car, our facility. We want to make sure your hard-earned money is actually being protected in the hands of someone who knows how to make a good judgment call when something like this happens. Most people, they would probably just keep running on the dyno and put the dipstick down, run the dyno, put the dipstick down. I don't operate that way. I want to make sure things are done right. I want to make sure your car runs healthy. Whatever it is, I'm going to go over it with you. I'm going to pull you to the screen. I'm going to show you how the curve looks like. I'm going to show you how to make more power, why it made this much power, why it didn't make power. I'm going to go over all details. So whenever you leave this facility off this dyno, whether it's dyno, tuning, remote tuning, travel tuning, I go over all these steps with you. This way you understand your vehicle. You understand what happened before I'm coming in, and how much better it's running. So the car always had a little bit of hiccups. It always ran a little off, he said. It didn't run healthy. And I kind of went over some things with him. His previous file, injector data, the injector settings wasn't set right. A lot of things wasn't calibrated right. And then I kind of went over all the new stuff with him, and I showed him all that stuff. And then so he could see the before and after difference of why this car is behaving, why the drivability is there now, why the car spools faster, why it hits harder, why it just feels like, the power band is so much broader and so much fatter now. I love it. I love it. This is a stock frame FP0, 2150cc injectors, GSE S3 cams, a MAP performance bottom end, and this car rips now. This car rips so good. It's such a simple off-the-shelf build. You have a MAP stage 2 motor, you grab an FP turbo off the shelf, the zero, you grab some injectors, grab the cams, and you get in with a good tuner, and then you'll be able to make and replica the same exact power, or even more. I've done FP0s that made more than this, more torque, more horsepower than this, you know? So it's just, this is nothing special, nothing custom, nothing, but a good, healthy engine and a good tune behind it, it always nets good results, you know? My thing of what I focus on is in running healthy in the AFRs. There's no knock. I pull the spark plugs, see how healthy the spark plugs look, and then how broad. The main thing is how broad I can make this power band. So when he ripped on it, when he got on it, as soon as he got on the throttle, the car instantly snapped right into his power band. It spooled fast, it spooled hard, and it kept on pulling. It kept on pulling. It didn't like it pulled and you could feel it kind of dive down. And like he pulled it, he granny shifted it into the next gear and then get back on it, and it just pulled again. Like I felt like my whole laptop was like levitating, and then it came down. That's what I like. I want him to have that experience. I want my customers to have that experience, and I want y'all to know how well and how good these cars can run with good tuning behind it. If you too would like to work with us, just like how he did, you can reach me at 941-268-7493, or you can catch me on all platforms, social media at Performance Destination, whether it's dyno tuning, remote tuning, or travel tuning, where we can come to your state, your country, your island, and we can get it done because we meet the needs on all computer systems. Thank you for watching. Till next time.